Have you noticed in these last days the hearts of many waxing cold, the level of betrayal, the level of hatred, slander, malice, contention, strife? The people that you trust the most often are the very ones that seem to hurt you. Well, I'm here to tell you it isn't a human being doing such things. This is all from the serpent. This is his characters, this is his ways, and he has been able to manipulate and control the masses. Today I'm going to talk about snakes. There is over 3,400 types of snakes. About 600 species of snakes are venomous. 200 of the venomous snakes can seriously kill or harm humans. Non-venomous snakes kill their prey through swallowing them or constricting them. The green anaconda and the python are major examples of the constrictor, which kill their prey by suffocating them. Characteristics of snakes. Snakes can sense movements from afar, and they continually taste the surrounding air with their tongues. Venomous snakes have pits on the side of their face that look like nostrils and helps the snake locate warm-bodied prey. Snakes themselves are cold-blooded and use external factors to control temperature. Snakes can use cattle luring. Cattle luring is a form of aggressive mimicry characterized by the waving or wriggling of the predator's tail to attract prey. This movement attracts small animals who mistake the tail for a small worm or other small animal. When the animal approaches to prey on the worm-like tail, that's when the predator will strike. Ambush hunting snakes often have a thick, powerful bodies that help them strike quickly or overpower their prey. Jaw movement snakes can move the left and right sides of their jaws independently, which allows them to swallow large prey whole. So as you look at the different characteristics of the physical snake, we have to take it and look at what this means in a spiritual lens. The spiritual insights based on snakes, they are able to see their prey from afar. So they're able to discern and find their victims' weaknesses and entice them by their own lust, their own desire. The word tells us to be wise as a serpent, but harmless as a dove. So this shows us that serpents, snakes, vipers, they have wisdom to manipulate, to be able to lure in their victims. And as you can see, based on even the physical attributes of a snake, it talks about mimicry. And immediately you get to what people call narcissism today. They will say they will mimic people's behaviors. So people think they care, but they're copying their victim. That is literally the fruit of a snake. So we're going to talk about this wise serpent from the beginning, Bereshit, Genesis 3:1. It says, "Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which Yahuwah Elohim had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, has Elohim said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden?" So literally, the serpent was able to discern the weakness of Hua in the garden. And he knew how he could manipulate her to not only make her fall, but also to make Adam fall. When you look up settle in the Hebrew Strongs, it's H6175, and it's Aram. It means subtle, cunning, usually in a bad sense, crafty, prudent, from the root word, which is Aram, which is Strong's H6191, and it's meaning properly to be or make bare, but used only in the derivative sense through the idea perhaps of smoothness to be cunning, usually in a bad sense. Very beware, take crafty counsel, be prudent, deal subtly. This is how snakes operate. They try to deceive, manipulate, and mimic. And through this deception and charm, they are able to get their victims. Depending on the type of snake, one might be suffocated, one might be exposed to its venom, poisoned, which that means a major level of defilement that can cause them to die spiritually. So when you go down and you see how snakes, like I mentioned, can entice people by their own lust, they are charming and cunning, and their words carry venom to make one blind and dull of hearing the truth. As snakes hypnotize and put their victims in a trance-like state in the spirit, that is why many don't even know that they are under control of the serpent. They don't realize that they have been killed. There is a piece in the Jungle Book where the snake would suffocate the little boy, and when the snake would look at the little boy in the eyes, that boy became under a trance. So oftentimes when we are being ruled by the serpent, we become in a trance-like state, end up being enticed by our own lust, end up living a life of sin, yet the snake the whole time is killing you. But because you're in a trance, you don't even realize it. The wages of sin is death. So the snake can kill one spiritually, but he can also kill a person physically. When he's through with his victims, it will lead to death. So when you're being suffocated, the snakes will literally drain you of your life force, and it will be removed. And that person's very soul begins to be in a place of bondage when under the authority of the snake. So let's look, as I read Adam and Hawa, how he deceived Hawa to make her eat of the knowledge of the tree of good and evil. And Hawa was then used to give the fruit to her husband. So they all fell, both herself and her husband. And what that did was now they were under the authority of the serpent. But this is what Yah told the serpent his punishment would be. And Yahuwah Elohim said unto the serpent, because you have done this, you are cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon your belly shall you go, and dust shall you eat all the days of your life. And I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your seed and her seed. It shall bruise your head, and you shall bruise his heel. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply your sorrow and your conception. In sorrow you shall bring forth your children, and your desire shall be to your man, and he shall rule over you. So this is the war. There's going to be serpent seed, and then there's the seed of righteousness. And ultimately, this prophecy is a prophecy of Yahushua HaMashiach. And as we choose the path of Yahushua, we would want our children to be born in righteousness, and to be brought up rightly. Many times we know, because we have lived sinful lives, many of us have born our children into wickedness, which has caused them to be ruled by the serpent, and has caused ourselves to be ruled by the serpent. Because just like our forefather and our foremother did, we yoked ourselves to Satan by our disobedience. And when we choose disobedience and to go against Yah, Yah turns us over to serpents. And that is in Numbers 21, 5-7. And the people spoke against Yahuwah and against Moshe. Wherefore have ye brought us up out of Mitzrayim to die in the wilderness? For there is no bread, neither is there any water, and our soul loathes this light bread. And Yahuwah sent fiery serpents among the people, and they bit the people, and many people of Yashrael died. Therefore the people came to Moshe and said, We have sinned, for we have spoken against Yahuwah and against you. Pray unto all Yahuwah that he takes away the serpents from us. And Moshe prayed for the people. And you will see it goes on to say how Yahuwah told him to make a brazen serpent and to lift it up, and that when the people would look upon that brazen serpent, they would be healed. That is a reflection of Yahushua HaMashiach. But also see in this passage, they rejected the Messiah. Many people, he is the bread of life. So you see here, they said, we loathe this light bread. They hated the spiritual bread, which is Yahushua. And then they were turned over to the serpents. When we reject and disobey Yah and speak against Yah, we are now yoked to the serpents. How do we get our healing? Through our salvation, which is Yahushua HaMashiach. So they had to repent and turn back to Yahushua. I will also talk about how the Messiah Yahushua was on the scene. And he talks about the generation of the serpents and what must be done. So this is Matthew 23:33-37. It says, Ye serpents, ye offspring of vipers, how can ye escape the damnation of Gehenna? Wherefore, behold, I send unto you prophets and wise men and scribes, and some of them ye shall kill and crucify, and some of them shall ye scourge in your synagogues, and persecute them from city to city, that upon you may come all the righteous blood shed upon the earth, from the blood of righteous Haval unto the blood of Zechariah, son of Barakyahu, whom ye slew between the temple and the altar. Amen, I say unto you, all these things shall come upon this nation. O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, you that kill the prophets and stone them which are sent unto you, how often would I have gathered your children together, even as a hen gathers her chickens unto her wings, and ye would not. Behold, your house is left unto you desolate. For I say unto you, ye shall not see me henceforth, till ye shall say, Barak is he that comes in the name of Yahuwah. This is the Messiah letting us know he's not talking to any other nation. He's talking to the children of Yashrael. And he tells them, you're the offspring of vipers. You have killed the prophets, and you will continuously do so. And the blood of righteousness, like of righteous people, are on you. And you will not see me until you say, Barak is the one who comes in the name of Yahuwah. So as you see literally from Bereshit to the Exodus, Numbers, all the way to the Brit Hadashai, we have been turned over to the generation of vipers. And why is that? Because we kept rejecting the Messiah. And he said, you will not see me henceforth until you say, Barak is the one who comes in the name of Yahuwah. And that is Yahushua HaMashiach. We denied him in the garden, denied him in the wilderness. We killed his prophets, and we killed him. So how do we get out of the curse of the serpents? By completely surrendering to Yahushua HaMashiach. His word does not come back void. But until we say Barak is the one who comes in the name of Yahuwah, until we surrender all, not just with our words, but our lifestyle and our actions, the serpents have rule over us. The serpents are allowed to torment us and to kill us. And many people have been turned over to the generation of vipers. And one type of serpent that I have seen in the spirit is a two-headed serpent that coils around in the spine of a person, in the gut. And this is representing the two sides of the serpent. When we have our forefather and foremother ate the knowledge of the tree of good and evil, the serpent presents himself as good and evil. The serpent is double-faced. The serpent produces double-mindedness. The serpent puts a mask and mirrors. And it's our duty to surrender to Yahushua, to repent and seek deliverance from the serpents. And in these last and evil days, if we do not seek our own salvation with fear and trembling, the serpents do have legal right to kill us. So in these days, I challenge each and every one of you to seek Yahushua while he may be found. Just as I read in Numbers how they had to look up and see the brazen serpent that Musha made, we must look up and see Yahushua and say, Barak is the one who comes in the name of Yahuwah. We must repent for always rejecting him, for he is the Word. He is Yahuwah made flesh. He is the way, the truth, and the life, and the light. If you continue to reject Yahushua, you reject Yahuwah. Seek Yahushua while he may be found. I pray this message reaches your heart, mind, and soul. And until we meet again, much shalom and much ahava.